What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. CLT Aviation 13 here with the 58th airport update of my Charlotte Douglas International Airport series. A little bit more energized for this video today. I'm actually pretty excited because today, November 4th, the recording of this video is the resumption of the London Heathrow flight. It's going to operate 3 weekly 777-2. Not necessarily sure how long it will last into the winter season. Obviously, the winter season is the worst part of the year when it comes to European demand. And obviously, with the pandemic, everything is 1,000 times worse with everything going on. So keeping my fingers crossed that it lasts until March. March is when I think things will uptick a little bit here in terms of European transatlantic flights. So I'm hoping things get, hopefully it goes through March. I'm not going to be surprised if it does get dropped due to, the current economic conditions. And if the plane is not filling and there's not enough cargo and it's just the logic, all the logistics with it don't make sense, then it'll probably go. But in the meantime, I'm going to appreciate that it's here. And we'll get to that in a minute. It's that One World 222 on the left side of your screen. So we'll get to that in a second. But let's go ahead and start things over on the runway. Got the Embraer taking off, flight 4802 with service to Key West. And then backing up, we got a United Embraer 175 with service to Newark, flight 3408. And then we got the Aeroclassic A319 CFM version, operating flight 585 with service to Cleveland. And we got the Allegheny A319 with service to Philadelphia, flight 423. And the Delta 717, obviously the Atlanta flight always stays consistent for us. Delta is Atlanta. So I think it's about 6 or 7 daily as of today. This is operating flight 2093 with service to Atlanta. And here's a new route. Actually, got a couple new routes today. Forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video. This is the CRJ 700, obviously operating for American Eagle. But it's funny, I always think about this every so often. I know there was an American Eagle that was made. The Gemini one, I think it was registration 505 Alpha Echo. The airplane at the time was operated by Envoy, and I never got the plane because we never got Envoy. But of course, all the planes transferred to PSA, so technically the registration is actually a PSA plane. To this day, it flies for PSA. So of course, I look back on it kind of kicking myself for not getting it, but it is what it is. Anyways, this flight's heading to Sioux Falls. This is a new route, flight 5540. I checked the loads today, just, the seat maps on AA.com, and full flight, so pretty pleased to see that. The next one of the other new routes is Appleton, Wisconsin, which we'll get to that in a moment. The loads aren't looking good for that one, at least for the first few days. But yeah, so glad to have that. I'm going to back up just because the lighting is a little bit better on this side, the way the airplanes are set up here. So this is the Majestic 777-2. This is the London flight, American flight 730. Getting loaded up here, so I got it all. Finally, nice to have a European transatlantic flight that is not cargo. That's huge. It's last time we seen a transatlantic flight out of Charlotte for passengers was, I want to say March 13th was the exact date, if not plus or minus 1 or 2 days. But yeah, it's just been a weird year, as we all know, and I don't know what to predict for next month or March or whatever once they're talking about. But hopefully things get a little bit better next year, but we'll see. But like I said, this is American Flight 730 with service to London. I'm going to scooch my way around the table again. Start with this American A321. This is the Charlotte version. And this guy is operating flight 2623 with service to Jacksonville. Then we got the Piedmont A319, flight 690 with service to Memphis, about to push out. Then another A319, there's going to be about, including this one, about 3 more A319s. So I'm not even going to say 319, that's just what the next planes will be. This is flight 2477 with service to Baltimore. And then we got flight 365 with service to Syracuse. Getting loaded up. And then the PSA one, getting ready for pushback. Operating flight 2375 with service to Portland, Maine. And One World 737-800 pushing out as well. Operating flight 2488 with service to Chicago. And Nice little section again. I always like to have the planes looking, tight together. That's how they park in Charlotte. It's very, very tight knit on the B and C concourse in particular. So yeah, starting with that 321 Sharklet on the right side of your screen, operating flight 2100 with service to Los Angeles. Then we got the American 319 with service to Austin. And they got that NG model 738 operating flight 1784 with service to Philadelphia. And then here's that Embraer 175. This is, flight 4709 with service to Appleton. That's another new route that started today. Again, one of those that hopefully it sticks around. It's just nice to connect more dots. Anytime you add a new market, it always helps the other routes in some capacity. It doesn't matter what direction it is. Everything, it makes a difference. It doesn't matter if it's, Williamsport, PA, or Appleton, Washington. Everyone can make a difference. So looking forward to hopefully that's successful. And then move into the Embraer 145, which is operating flight to Mobile, Alabama. All right, guys, starting on the other side of the airport, we'll start with that CRJ 900, which is operating flight 5144 with service to Charleston. And we got that U.S. Airways Heritage A321 pushing out, flight 670 with service to San Francisco. Then we got the A321 wing fence getting loaded up to LaGuardia, flight 1108. We got that OG 737-800 Gemini jets, flight 122 with service to Denver. TWA 738 getting ready for pushback as well, operating flight 2548 with service to Newark. And one of my favorites, the America West Retro A319, flight 384 with service to DCA. And the NG model 737-800, this is going to New York John F. Kennedy as flight 1186. Here's that new Gemini jet 777. Looks really good. It is a little darker compared to the One World. I'm not going to get too bent out of shape over it. It's only so much you can do, but it looks beautiful from this angle right now. As of now, I meant to mention this at the beginning, but over this past weekend, American Airlines loaded their December schedule, which included some good updates, some cuts as well as expected. But some good updates were in it, at least on Charlotte's behalf. We're getting a one daily 777 flight to Los Angeles and Las Vegas. The departure times, if memory serves, I believe the Vegas flight leaves Charlotte at 9:30 a.m. It'll come back to Charlotte around 7 p.m. and then it'll leave again at around 8:30 p.m. to Los Angeles. And then when it gets to Los Angeles, it'll do the red-eye flight back to Charlotte. So one aircraft doing it all. And this is along with that 3-weekly London flight and that daily Miami flight. So it's nice to get some wide bodies. I'll be able to start filling this up a little bit more. Just for aesthetics purposes, obviously there's not going to be 4 777s on the ground at one time. But just for the video's purpose, I'll probably put them all together just to make everything look good. But anyways, it's nice to see that we got some 777s coming in since we are a 777 base now. But anyways, this is our other current 222 flight, which is operating to Miami. Here's that Volaris. Again, shout out to Volaris for holding it down for our international airline. They operate twice weekly, which is what they always were going into the pandemic and pre and all that stuff. And this is flight 978 is their flight to Guadalajara, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 978 or 979 to Guadalajara. I can't remember. So yeah, looking good. Hopefully they make the Neo version of the purple engines. Again, not a fan of the mold, but I mean, at this point, I guess you got to take what they can provide. So whatever. And then this is technically not an actual common thing anymore. We used to get those 321 Neos, once or twice a day was scheduled, but this was substituted from DCA a couple weeks ago, maybe about a week ago at this point. And I don't actually remember where it went after I got to Charlotte, so I'm just gonna have to go to Seattle and just have it go to a West Coast city. But yeah, this isn't a common plane anymore. Unfortunately, I don't get it. I mean, I kind of get it, but Yeah. Let's see what we got right here. So we'll start with this 319 operating flight 829 with service to Mexico City. And then we got another CRJ 900. Have this guy operate flight 5420 with service to Milwaukee. And then I got an A320 right here. Go around here and get that lighting in. This guy is heading to West Palm Beach. And then for cargo, I got the UPS MD-11 getting loaded up for Louisville. I'm just going to assume that the cats are up here because this is not how I had everything set. This is not how I had everything set up originally. So I'm just going to assume the cats were in here sometime last night. That's kind of why it's a mess. Yeah, we'll go with that because I don't remember it being like that. Here's the Air National Guard C-17. I'd still like to get a few more of these, but again, I kind of try to prioritize what planes I need to get. And unfortunately, this one isn't high up on my list. At some point, I need to move it up a little bit because I'd ideally like to have 4 of them. I would love to park, one here, one back here, and then one back here. And obviously slide that UPS over. And also get a FedEx 763 because I don't have a current FedEx plane anymore. So just a lot of things still need to be taken care of in due time, but it's just more important to get the necessities in before that non-priority stuff. So we'll start next over that Sun Country. I'll just give you a quick view of what else is to come. There's Snoopy, you got the Deltas, the Sky Team 738, you got the usual A North stuff. So I'll see you on the other side, guys, okay? All right, so here we are with that Sun Country flight. Probably wondering what is the Sun Country plane doing here? And there was a charter that came in about a week or 2 ago. Came in from Greensboro and then it went out to the west. I can't remember exactly the destination it went to, but it was obviously for charter purposes. But as always, a good excuse to add another aircraft to the update. And it's always nice to showcase the Sun Country 737 livery because it's really nice. Wish we got them here in Charlotte, actually. Would be cool to get them one day. Highly doubt it, but would be nice. So we got a 738 over here. I'm just going to reach, so if quality sounds a little bit weird. Just trying to get the camera over there. So this is a 738 flight 2755 with service to Minneapolis. And we got the 319 SSCFM Gemini Jet 1, that good one, operating flight 2380 with service to Omaha. And then next up, we got that Delta 738. As we're recording this video, there's the NG models, that regular livery coming out. So I'll be very happy to get one of those. Because it seems to be that Delta's repainting all their Sky Team planes. I don't keep up with it too much, but I know the 75s are gone. I think they had a 764 Sky Team at one point, but I know that's gone. So I'm assuming the same thing will be said with the 737s. So it'll be good to have the regular livery as well. It also will help with some future projects that I have in the back of my mind. So here's that 738 with service to Salt Lake City. And another Atlanta flight, 717, like I said, about 6 to 7 daily. So it's always appropriate to have some extra Atlantas on scene. And then next up we have 717 flight to Detroit, operating flight 2039. Scooch on back to Southwest. A little bit confused, a little bit I don't even know what to say, honestly. We're supposed to have a Denver flight that starts in a couple weeks, but it operated this morning as flight 2730. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. Obviously not going to complain because Denver was, Southwest to Denver was probably my biggest request personally. So I'm really glad to see that route is finally here. So they've been making me really happy, especially with Phoenix starting up next year. That's another one. I was always like, I want Denver and I want one of the two between Vegas and Phoenix. So I got Phoenix. So I'm very pleased with that. The only other route on my list is I just want Atlanta just to provide better connectivity to Florida on Southwest, considering we don't have a flight nonstop to Florida anymore. It's been done by AirTran, was okay. Southwest did it and just wasn't good enough. So I just don't think it's just for low-cost carriers between Charlotte and Florida. It's very tough to work. It's just always been like that. I mean, it's a little different now with Frontier, Spirit, and those ultra low-cost carriers, but for the LCCs, it's just they've always struggled for some reason. I really think JetBlue can make it work. They used to fly Charlotte, Fort Lauderdale, but I mean, this was back in like '08, right? They only had like 20 flights a day in Fort Lauderdale. So there really wasn't any connecting opportunities like there is today. So I really believe a Fort Lauderdale flight on JetBlue could work. I mean, it's a solid hub on the other end. Really, I'm still bamboozled they haven't tried it yet, or tried it again, I should say. But anyways, this is flight 2730 to Denver. You're going to see a common theme here. This is Frontier Flight 199 with service to Denver. And we have Spirit A320, Flight 1101 to Orlando. And then we have United A320, Flight 203 to Houston. And then, like I mentioned, that common theme, this is United Express Flight 5604 with service to Denver. So Denver. Honestly, it's one of those routes that's just highly competitive. It's just, once Frontier did it and United finally got around to re-adding it, it's just one of those routes, guys. It's just, you know, on the come up for one of the busier routes out of Charlotte, especially with Southwest on it now. And I know they'll be competitive. They won't mess around when they, you know, once they're fully in the trenches with it. So, and American will always protect their turf. So, but, sorry for all the rambling. It's just important to talk about, just add context to the videos. It's always good to provide information to people who may not be familiar with the airport. So it's just a good way for me to do that, just to get an idea of how the airport operates in terms of what routes and flights there are, and just the, you know, up-to-date information on the airport. So if you made it to the end of this video, as always, I greatly appreciate that effort. And once again, thank you for all the subscribers out there. And everyone who, you know, likes and comments on the videos. I greatly appreciate it, as always. Like I mentioned, some other videos, I try to get back to all the comments as possible. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's update, and I will see you in the next one.